celebrating the appearance of Sri Advaita Acarya Prabhu. Who is a member of the Panchatattva. And we'll have this song by Lochandas Thakur. And then we will read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which just now arrived, which is a good sign. And then we'll have another song by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the Advaita Ashtaka. And we will read from Srila Prabhupada's lecture on Advaita Acharya given in Mayapur in 1975. All right. So we'll begin with this song and we'll have the translation first of all. All glories to the all-merciful Advaita Acharya, whose roaring plea made Gaura descend to this world. Sitanata, the Lord of Sita, is an ocean of compassion and distributes freely pure love of God. By his own mellow of pure love, he induced the hero of Raja Krishna to come. Whoever receives his mercy and his kind glance, that person is infused with pure love of God and sings the divine qualities of Lord Chaitanya. All glories to the all-merciful Advaita Acharya, whose roaring plea made Gaura descend to this world. Anyone who seeks shelter at his feet acquires the great wealth of Gaura Prema, pure love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lochandas says, why did I not worship such an ocean of mercy? By not worshipping him, I have brought a thunderbolt upon my head.
Avatara
Bhakti-yoga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivraja Acharya Ashtottara Shatu Sri Srimad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadev Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Yamuna Mai ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Advaita Acharya Saptami Mahotsava ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Hare Krishna. So, we will read from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 6, which describes the glories of Advaita Acharya.
6 глава на Чайтанья Чаритамрита, която описва славата на Адвайта Ачаря.
There's a verse which will be discussed in this chapter. Actually, what Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami did in the very beginning, he composed something that what is called Mangala Charana.
Всъщност в началото на главата Кришна Дас Кавираж Такур е съставил благоприятни начални стихове на санскрит.
Mangala Charana means auspicious invocation.
Чарана означава благоприятно начало.
And that is the verse here, which is dedicated to Advaita Acarya. And it appears then later in the 6th chapter, which describes his glories, and the Krishna Das Kaviraj, he will elaborate on the meaning.
И по-нататък той също е цитиран в 6 глава, където авторът Кришна Дас Кавираж обяснява славата на Адвайта.
Advaitam Harinadvaitat Acharyam Bhakti Shansanat Bhaktavataram Ishantam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye Advaitam Harinadvaitat Acharyam Bhakti Shansana Bhaktavataram Ishantam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye Advaitam Harinadvaita Acharyam Bhakti Shansana Bhaktavataram Ishantam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye Advaitam, known as Advaita. Harina, with Lord Hari. Advaita, from being non-different. Acharyam, known as Acharya. Bhakti Shansanat, from the propagation of devotional service to Sri Krishna. Bhakta Avataram, the incarnation as a devotee. Isham, to the Supreme Lord. Tam, to him. Advaita Acharyam, to Advaita Acharya. Ashraye, I surrender. Translations and the purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore, I take shelter of him.
Тъй като той не се различава от Хари, върховния Бог, той е наречен Адвайта. И тъй като разпространява култа на преданността, той е наречен Ачаря. Той е Богът и въплъщението на преданът на Бога. Затова аз приемам посланието него.
If any of those phones are still on and messages come and calls come, please put them in flight mode. We will be flying, hopefully, to the spiritual realm. Reading Chaitanya Charitamrita actually puts us into the spiritual realm. They understood the other message. Okay, we'll start right in the beginning. Srila Prabhupada gives a summary generally he quotes from Bhakti-yoga. At any rate, he says, the truth of Advaita Acarya has been described in 2 verses. Chapter 6 of Adilila.
This is
The beginning. This is the advantage of the book. Therefore I asked for the book. Because then you have to go and it disappears and you're going to look for everywhere. Oh, it's gone. I have to reinitiate the whole thing. Isn't it? Look at it. It's very easy. Electricity goes off, no problem. Battery goes off, no problem. Only if the light goes off, then you have a problem. But that you have a problem with everything. Then you just chant. So, you got it?
Yes.
All right. So, the truth of Advaita Acarya has been described in 2 verses.
Истината за Адвайта Ачаря е описана в 2 стиха.
It is said that material nature has 2 features, namely the material cause and the efficient cause.
Казва се, че материалната природа има 2 аспекта. Едината е материалната причина и другата.
Yeah, you have to go out. It's so important, of course.
Материална причина и ефективната причина.
This is the unfortunate situation in Kali Yuga. We are the servants of phone dance. So the efficient causal activities are caused by Mahavishnu, and the material causal activities are caused by another form of Mahavishnu known as Advaita.
Дейностите, свързани с ефективната причина, са породени от Махавишну, а материалната причина и дейностите, свързани с нея, са причинени от друга форма на Махавишну, наречена Адвайта.
That Advaita, the superintendent of the cosmic manifestation, has descended in the form of Advaita Acarya to associate with Lord Chaitanya.
Този Адвайта, наследен на космическото проявление, се появява като Адвайта Ачаря, за да общува с Шри Чайтanya.
When he is addressed as the servitor of Lord Chaitanya, his glories are magnified because unless one is invigorated by this mentality of servitorship, one cannot understand the mellows derived from devotional service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna.
Когато е наричан слуга на Бог Чайтания, славата му се увеличава, защото докато човек не е вдъхновен от менталитетът на служене, човек не може да разбере емоциите, получени от преданото служение към Бог Кришна.
And we'll begin with the first verse. Always the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he generally gives an introductory verse in Sanskrit, which transmits the mood of the chapter.
Винаги в началото на всяка глава Кришнадас Кавирядж Госвами започва с санскритски стих, който установява настроението в тази глава.
The rest normally is in Bengali unless there is a quote from some scripture.
И след това той пише на бенгалски, освен ако няма цитати от санскритски писания.
Vandetang Srimad Advaita Acharyam Adbhuta Cheshtitam Yasya Prasadat Agyopi Tatsvarupam Nirupayet. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Advaita Acharya, whose activities are all wonderful. By his mercy, even a foolish person can describe his characteristics.
Отдавам смирените си почитания на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, чието дейности са необикновени. По негова милост, дори и глупавият човек може да опише неговите качества.
All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Слава на Бог Чайтания Махапрабху, Нитянанда, слава на Адвайта Ачаря, слава на всички предани на Бог Шри Чайтания Махапрабху.
In 5 verses, I have described the principle of Lord Nityananda. Then in the following 2 verses, I describe the glories of Sri Advaita Acharya.
В 5 стиха аз описах славата на Бог Нитянанда и сега в следващите 2 стиха ще опиша славата на Шри Адвайта Ачаря.
Lord Advaita Acarya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya.
Бог Адвайта Ачаря е въплъщение на Махавишну, чиято основна функция да създава космоса чрез действията на Мая.
Because he's non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he's called Advaita, and because he propagates the cult of devotion, he's called Acharya. He's the Lord in the incarnation of the Lord's devotee, therefore I take shelter of him.
Тъй като той не се различава от Хари, върховния Бог, той е наречен Адвайта. И тъй като разпространява пътя на предвидността, той е наречен Ачария. Той е Богът и въплъщението на предвид на Бога. Затова аз приемам посланието.
Sri Advaita Acarya is indeed directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. His glory is beyond the conception of ordinary living beings.
Наистина, Шри Адвайта Ачария е самият върховен Бог. Славата му е отвъд възприятието на обикновените живи същества.
Mahavishnu performs all the functions for the creation of the universes. Sri Advaita Acarya is his direct incarnation.
Махавишну извършва всички дейности за сътворението на вселените. Шри Адвайта Ачария е негово директно проявление.
That Purusha creates and maintains with his external energy. He creates innumerable universes in his pastimes.
Този Пуруша създава и поддържа чрез своята външна енергия. Той създава безброй вселени в неговите забавления.
By his will, he manifests himself in unlimited forms in which he enters each and every universe.
С волята си той се проявява в безброй форми, в които той влиза във всяка вселена.
Sri Advaita Acarya is a plenary part of that Purusha and so is not different from him. Indeed, Sri Advaita Acarya is not separate but is another form of that Purusha.
Шри Адвайта Ачария е пълна част на този Пуруша и не се различава от него. Всъщност Шри Адвайта Ачария не е различен, е същият този Пуруша.
He, Advaita Acarya, helps in the pastimes of the Purusha with whose material energy and by whose will he creates innumerable universes.
Той Адвайта Ачария помага в забавленията на този Пуруша с чиято материална енергия, по чиято воля създава безброй вселени.
Being a reservoir of all auspicious attributes, Sri Advaita Acarya is all auspicious for the world. His characteristics, activities, and name are always auspicious.
Тъй като е вместилище на всички благоприятни качества, Шри Адвайта Ачария носи благо за целия свят. Неговите качества, дейности и име са все благоприятни.
And for this reason, another name of Advaita Acarya is Mangala, auspicious.
Затова той също наречен и със името Мангала или благоприятен.
Let's look at this purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Advaita Prabhu, who is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, is an Acharya or teacher.
В пояснението Шрила Прабхупада пише: Шри Адвайта Ачария, който е въплъщение на Махавишну, е Ачария или учител.
All his activities and all the other activities of Vishnu are auspicious.
Всички негови дейности и всички дейности на Вишну са благоприятни.
Anyone who can view the all auspiciousness in the pastimes of Lord Vishnu also becomes auspicious simultaneously.
Всеки, който може да види благоприятното в забавленията на Бог Вишну, също едновременно става благоприятен.
Therefore, since Lord Vishnu is the fountainhead of auspiciousness, anyone who is attracted by the devotional service of Lord Vishnu can render the greatest service to human society.
Затова, тъй като Бог Вишну е вместилището на всичко благоприятно, всеки, който е привлечен от преданото служение на Вишну, може да служи или да даде най-великото служение на човешкото общество.
Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of the living entities and as actual liberation of the living being from conditioned life become bereft of all devotional service because of their poor fund of knowledge.
Падналите хора в материалния свят, които отказват да разберат чистото преданно служение като вечна дейност на живите същества и като действително освобождение за живото същество от обусловения живот, се лишават от преданното служение поради липсата на достатъчно знание.
In the teachings of Advaita Prabhu, there is no question of fruitive activities or impersonal liberation.
В ученията на Адвайта Прабху няма никакви плодоносни дейности или безличностно освобождение.
Bewildered by the spell of the material energy, however, persons who could not understand that Advaita Prabhu is non-different from Vishnu wanted to follow him with their impersonal conceptions.
Объркани от влиянието на материалната енергия, обаче личности, които не разбират, че Адвайта Прабу не се различава от Вишну, желаят да го следват с техните имперсонални представи.
The attempt of Advaita Prabhu to punish them is also auspicious.
Желанието на Адвайта Прабу да ги накаже също е благоприятно.
Lord Vishnu and his activities can bestow all good fortune directly and indirectly.
Бог Вишну и неговите дейности даряват висше благо и директно и индиректно.
In other words, being favored by Lord Vishnu and being punished by Lord Vishnu are one and the same because all the activities of Vishnu are absolute.
С други думи, да получиш благословията на Бога и да бъдеш наказан от Бог Вишну е едно и също, тъй като всички дейности на Бога са абсолютни.
According to some, Mangala was another name of Advaita Prabhu.
Според някои Мангала било друго име на Адвайта Прабу.
As the causal incarnation or Lord Vishnu's incarnation for a particular occasion, he is the supply agent or ingredient in material nature.
Като въплъщението, причинното въплъщение или инкарнацията на Бог Вишну за определена цел, той е посредникът, чрез когото се доставят частите или субстанцията на материалната природа.
However, he is never to be considered material.
Но той никога не трябва да бъде считан за материален.
All his activities are spiritual.
Всичките му дейности са духовни.
Anyone who hears about him and glorifies him becomes glorified himself. For such activities, free one from all kinds of misfortune.
Всеки, който слуша за неговата слава, също се прославя, защото неговите дейности освобождават човек от всякакви нещастия.
One should not invest any material contamination or impersonalism in the Vishnu form.
Човек не трябва да влага никакво материално замърсяване или имперсонализъм в разбирането на формите на Вишну.
Everyone should try to understand the real identity of Lord Vishnu, for by such knowledge one can attain the highest stage of perfection.
Всеки трябва да се опита да разбере истинската идентичност на Бог Вишну, защото това знание може да му даде най-висша стадия на съвършенство.
So now, from here on, the glories of or the function of Mahavishnu is being described.
След това той започва да описва славата на Махавишну.
And there's a verse 14-15. We'll have a very long purport, almost 10 pages.
Има стихове 14-15, има коментар, който е дълъг, почти 10 страници.
So whoever has the opportunity and time could read that today. It's very instructive.
Който днес има време, възможност, може да ги прочете, те са много поучителни.
So this is a little technical, how the Lord creates the world, the remote cause and the efficient cause and all these things.
И тук е техническо обяснение как точно е сътворен светът с субстанциалната причина, ефективната причина.
But we will read, this is not a very long chapter, so we'll read some verses and then we'll continue with something else. So let's go to let's go to 26. Sri Advaita, who is a reservoir of virtues, is the main limb of Mahavishnu. His full name is Advaita, for he is identical in all respects with that Lord.
Тъй като главата е къса, ще прочетем няколко стихове. Тук е 26 текст. Шри Адвайта, който е вместилището на всички добродетели, е основното проявление на Махавишну. Пълното му име е Адвайта, защото той не се различава никакъв начин от Върховния Бог.
As he had formerly created all the universes, now he descended to introduce the path of bhakti.
Както той създава всички вселени, сега се е появил, за да даде началото на пътя на бхакти.
He delivered all living beings by offering the gift of Krishna bhakti.
Той освобождава всички живи същества, като им даде дарът на Кришна бхакти.
He explained the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in the light of devotional service. So we read that purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although Sri Advaita Prabhu is an incarnation of Vishnu for the welfare of the conditioned souls, he manifested himself as a servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and throughout all his activities he showed himself to be an eternal servant.
Макар че Адвайта Прабу да е въплъщение на Вишну за благото на благословените души, той се появява като слуга на Върховната Божествена личност и чрез своите дейности той се представя като вечен слуга.
Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda also manifested the same principle, although they also belong to the category of Vishnu.
Бог Чайтanya и Бог Нитянанда също проявяват този принцип, макар те също да принадлежат към категорията на Вишну.
If Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda and Advaita Prabhu had exhibited their all-powerful Vishnu potencies within this material world, people would have become greater impersonalists, monists, and self-worshippers than they had already become under the spell of this age.
Ако Бог Чайтanya, Бог Нитянанда и Адвайта Прабу бяха проявили всемогъщите си Вишну енергии в този свят, хората ще да станат още по-големи персоналисти, и да уважават себе си, повече отколкото те вече са под влиянието на тази епоха.
Therefore, the personality of Godhead and his different incarnations and forms played the parts of devotees to instruct the conditioned souls how to approach the transcendental stage of devotional service.
Затова и Бога и неговите различни инкарнации и форми играят ролята на предани, за да получат благословените души как да достигнат трансценденталният етап на преданото служение.
Advaita Acarya especially intended to teach the conditioned souls about devotional service.
Особено Адвайта Ачаря има намерението да научи благословените души на предано служение.
The word Acharya means teacher.
Думата Ачаря значи учител.
The special function of such a teacher is to make people Krishna conscious.
Специалната функция на този учител е да направи хората Кришна осъзнати.
A bona fide teacher following in the footsteps of Advaita Acharya has no other business than to spread the principles of Krishna consciousness all over the world.
Един авторитетен учител, следващ стъпките на Адвайта Ачаря, няма друго задължение, освен да разпространява принципите на Кришна съзнание по света.
The real qualification of an Acharya is that he presents himself as a servant of the Supreme.
Истинското качество и квалификация на един Ачаря е, че той се представя като един слуга на Бога.
Such a bona fide Acharya can never support the demoniac activities of atheistic men who present themselves as God.
Такъв авторитет на Ачаря никога не подкрепя демоничните дейности на атеисти, които се представят самите за Бог.
It's the main business of an Acharya to defy such impostors posing as God before the innocent public.
Затова е едно от основните задължения на Ачаря е да изложи тези позиори, които се представят за Бог пред невинните хора.
Since he has no other occupation than to teach devotional service, his name is Advaita Acharya.
Текст 29. Тъй като той няма други задължения, освен да разпространява предно служение, неговото име е Адвайта Ачаря.
He is the spiritual master of all devotees and is the most revered personality in the world.
Той е върховният учител на всички предани и е най-учителната личност в света.
By a combination of these two names, his name is Advaita Acharya.
Комбинацията от тези имена, той е наречен Адвайта Ачаря.
So, as is also pointed out, his glories are of course unlimited, so it's impossible to fathom them all, but we have just a little drop here.
Както беше обяснено, неговата слава е безгранична, но тук се опитваме да опием на капчица.
And then it is described, because Advaita Acharya was a little older, we can tell the gray hair. So Lord Chaitanya, he used to see him like his father and he bowed down to him.
И тъй като Адвайта Ачаря бил възрастен, Бог Lord Chaitanya се уважава като учител баща.
But Advaita Acarya, he considers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his master, and so therefore he thinks himself as a servant of the Lord.
Но Адвайта Ачаря счита Чайтанья Махапрабху за своя господар, а той е самия господар.
And then it is described here how this conception or the mentality of being a servant is actually the source of all joy.
И тук по-нататък в главата се описва, че точно този менталитет на служене е изворът на огромно щастие.
Which is very different from what we experience in this world.
Което е много различно от опита ни в този свят.
Where nobody wants to be a servant of anybody.
Където никой не иска да е слуга на никой друг.
We want everybody to be our servant.
Ние искаме всички дори да ни служат на нас.
Then, perfection is reached. So, it is described here, 1 verse 43, well, these are very short. He forgets himself in the joy of that conception of being a servant and teaches all living entities, you are servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
И както се казва тук в текст 43, той забравя себе си в радостта на тази идея за да слуга и учи всички живи същества. Вие сте слуги на Шри Чайтанья Махапрабху.
The conception of servitude to Sri Krishna generates such an ocean of joy in the soul that even the joy of oneness with the Absolute, if multiplied 10 million times, could not compare to a drop of it.
Концепцията за служене на Кришна създава такъв океан от радост в душата, че дори радостта на единството с Абсолюта, дори умножена 10 милиона пъти, изобщо не може да се сравни с капчица от него.
He says, Nityananda and I are servants of Lord Chaitanya.
Той казва, Нитянанда и аз сме слуги на Чайтанья.
Nowhere else is there such joy as that which is tasted in this emotion of servitude.
Никъде другаде няма такава радост, като тази, която човек може да изпита в емоцията на служение.
So, then it is described how he asked the Lord to come.
И след това главата описва как той моли Бога да дойде.
You have seen maybe the painting. Well, we'll see it later on, where he sits next to the Ganga River with a Shalagram Shila and Tulsi leaves and praying for Krishna to appear.
Ще видим по-късно тази картина, където той е седнал на брега на река Ганг с свещения камък Шалаграм Шила и обожаващ го с Тулси, листенца и как се моли на Бог Кришна да се появи.
So, it's described that with, first of all, he always declares, I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am his devotee. And with his body, he worshipped the Lord by offering Ganges water and Tulsi leaves, and by preaching devotional service, he delivered the entire universe. So, let's see. At the end of the chapter, we hear that the glories of Advaita are boundless, for his sincere vibrations brought about Lord Chaitanya's descent upon this earth.
И накрая научаваме, че славата на Адвайта Ачаря е безгранична. Неговите искрени молитви са довели Бога на тази земя.
Well, here it simply says vibration.
Просто така неговите вибрации.
The word is hunkare. We heard that in also this song, and we'll hear it again in the Ashtakam. It actually means a roar like a lion. I mean, Krishna is far away, so you have to have not just whisper, then he may not hear you. All right, so let's go to the Advaita Ashtakam. This is composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, another intimate devotee of Lord Chaitanya.
Това е Адвайта Аштакам, съставен от Сарвабаума Бхаттачаря, друг близък придружител на Чайтанья Махапрабху.
So, translation: roaring like a lion and thundering like a monsoon cloud, he prays day and night, O Krishna, O Lord of Radhika.
Вейки като лъв и звучейки като гръмотевица, той се моли ден и нощ, О Кришна, господарю на Радика.
He smears the shalagram shila with the paste of sandalwood and musk and offers artik with incense and lamp.
Той маже шалаграм шила с сандалова паста и мускус и предлага арти с инсенс и лампа.
I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Аз медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, господарят на Сита Деви.
He worships the shalagram shila with water of the Ganga mixed with tulsi manjaris and leaves.
Той обожава шалаграм шила с вода от Ганг, смесена с туласи, манджари и листенца.
Tears of love incessantly flow from his eyes as he meditates upon Krishna and sings his glories.
Сълзи от любов се стичат от очите му, докато той медитира върху Кришна и възпява славата му.
He prays to the Supreme Lord, who is an ocean of mercy, to descend to this world.
Той се моли на Върховния Бог, който е океан от милост, да се появи в този свят.
I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Аз медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, господарят на Сита Деви.
Again and again he loudly sings the name of Krishna, praying to him, O my Lord, deliverer of the universe, please award me the proper vision.
Отново и отново той високо възпява името на Кришна. Молите се, О Господи, освободи тази вселена. Молите, дай ми правилно виждане.
Please manifest your exceedingly merciful two-armed form in my vision. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Молите, появи Твоята необикновено милостива двойка форма пред мен. Аз медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, Богът на Сита Деви.
Due to the prayers of Sri Advaita Acarya, the most merciful Sri Chaitanya appeared in the house of Jagannath Mishra in the womb of Mother Shachi.
Поради молитвите на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, най-милостивият Шри Чайтанья се появи в домът на Джаганат Мишра, като син на майка Шачи.
In order to enjoy the association of Sri Chaitanya sang the holy name of the Lord congregationally and danced with his devotees.
За да се наслаждава на общуването на Шри Адвайта, Шри Чайтанья пеел святите имена на Бога заедно с други предани и танцувал с тях.
I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, Богът на Сита Деви.
The lotus feet of Sri Advaita are the goal of my knowledge and the object of my meditation.
Лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта са целта на моето познание и обект на моята медитация.
I always keep the dust of his lotus feet on my head.
Винаги държа върху главата си праха от неговите лотосови нозе.
Oh my Lord, please bestow devotional service upon this unworthy soul and protect me.
О, мой Господи, моля те, дай преданно служение на тази нещастна душа и ме закривай.
I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, Богът на Сита Деви.
Sri Advaita, the Lord of Sita Devi, is the bestower of all benedictions and perfections, and he is the Lord of my life.
Шри Адвайта, господарят на Сита Деви, е дарителят на всички благослови и съвършенства и той е господарят на моя живот.
That most merciful Lord immediately bestows bhakti upon those who meditate exclusively upon his lotus feet.
Милостивият Бог веднага дарява бхакти на тези, които медитират върху неговите лотосови нозе.
I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, господарят на Сита Деви.
All glories to Sri Advaita along with Sri Chaitanya and the most merciful Nityananda Prabhu. They are all one, but in three different forms, depicting the different phases of life, like adolescence, etc.
Слава на Шри Адвайта и Шри Чайтанья и най-милостивият Нитянанда Прабhu. Те са една личност, но в три форми, проявявайки различни фази на живота, като юношество и така нататък.
Sri Advaita roars and thunders in order to deliver the living entities by giving them transcendental knowledge and pure devotional service.
Шри Адвейта вика силно, за да освободи всички живи същества, като им даде трансцендентално знание и чисто преданно служение.
I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвейта Ачаря, господарят на Сита Деви.
Sri Advaita bestows loving devotional service upon the lowly, mean, blasphemous, and other such fallen people.
Шри Адвейта дарява любовното преданно служение на всички ниши, оскърбителни, зли хора и паднали хора.
The bestower of everything, the Lord of Sita Devi, is the leader of Shantipur.
Този, който дарява всичко, господарят на Сита Деви, водачът на Шантипур.
He frees us from the bondage of material attachments, bad association, fruitive activities, and mystic yoga.
Той ни освобождава от обвързването на материалните привързаности, лошото общуване, плодоносните дейности и мистичната йога.
I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acarya, the Lord of Sita Devi.
Медитирам върху лотосовите нозе на Шри Адвайта Ачаря, господарят на Сита Деви.
Okay, so this is Ektal. You can do. Good. Don't be shy with the kartals. All right.
Sita
I saw So, Srila Prabhupada gave a class in Mayapur in 1975.
През 1975 година Шрила Прабхупад дал лекция в Майапур.
Yes, 1975. That was the first year we went to India.
Това беше първата година, когато отидох в Индия.
Yeah. My God. It was 5th of April. The lecture was given,
Лекцията от 5 април,
which means it's really hot already.
което означава, че беше много горещо.
And Gauravani was on the 27th of March, like this year will be 28th. So it's very, very late and it's really hot. It's like 1 month more than sometimes.
Гауравани беше на 25 април, което вече 25 март, доста късно, както е тази година и вече много горещо.
Well, from there we went to Hyderabad. Even hotter to Hyderabad, and then to Vrindavan for the opening of the temple. So it was April. It was like unimaginable for the first time. I mean, you know.
Хайдерабад, след това в Вриндавана за откриването на храма за първи път в Индия беше зимно горещо.
So here we were still in Mayapur and it was fresh compared to Hyderabad and Vrindavan.
Сега сме още в Майапур и все още беше поносимо в сравнение с Хайдерабад и Вриндаван.
April 6th. So, Prabhupada quotes this verse, Advaitam Harina Daitat Acharyam Bhakti Shanksanat Bhaktavatarang Ishamtam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye, because Advaita Acharya is none different from Hari, the Supreme Lord. He is called Advaita, and because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee, therefore I take shelter of him.
Прабхупад цитира този текст от Чайтания Чаритамрита, който прочетохме от тази глава. Тъй като той не се различава от Хари, върховния Бог е наречен Адвейта и той разпространява движението за предаността. Той е наречен Ачария. Той е Богът и инкарнацията на предана Бога, затова аз приемам послан при него.
So he says, gradually the author is offering respect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita.
Тук Шрила Прабхупад казва, авторът постепенно отдава своят почет на Шри Кришна Чайтания, Прабhu Nityananda, Шри Адвайта.
He has already offered respect to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Now is the turn for Sri Advaita Acharya.
Сега е времето на Адвайта Ачаря.
No, this is not the translation. He has already offered respect to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda.
Той вече отдава почитание на Бог Чайтания и Бог Нитянанда.
Now is the turn of Sri Advaita Acharya.
Сега е време на Адвайта Ачаря.
Advaita means non-different. He is an expansion of Maha Vishnu.
Адвайта означава неразличен експанзия на Махавишну.
Therefore, he is Vishnu Tattva. He is not Jiva Tattva.
Затова той е Вишну Татва, не е Джива Татва.
Therefore, he is Advaita.
Ето защо той е Адвайта.
When he quotes from Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. Krishna has got unlimited expansions.
И след това той цитира Брахма Самхита, Адвайтам Ачютам Анадим Ананта Рупам, пълно безгранична на брой експанзии.
So first is expansion, then expansion of the expansion, then expansion of the expansion.
Експанзия на експанзията на експанзията и след това експанзия на експанзията.
So in this way, so Advaita Acharya is an expansion of Krishna.
И по този начин Адвайта Ачаря е експанзия на Кришна.
Therefore, he is called Advaitam and Acharyam Bhakti Shanksanat, because he propagates the cult of devotion. He is called Acharya.
И това той се нарича Адвайтам и Ачарям, защото проповядва култа на Бхакти.
This is the business of the Acharya, to spread the Bhakti cult.
Това е работата на Ачаря, да разпространява култа на Бхакти.
Acharya mam vijaniyat navam manyeta karhichit. This is a quote from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually it's also later quoted in the Adi Lila. It's not 13, it's 46, 146. There, the Lord, he says, one should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way.
Аз съм Ачаря и по никакъв начин не трябва да има респект към него.
Acharya means one who transmits the bhakti cult.
Ачаря означава някой, който предава култа на бхакти.
Bhakti Shansanat, spreading bhakti.
Bhakti Shansanat означава този, който разпространява бхакти.
There is Goshtyanandi.
Това е наречен Гощянанди.
One who is not spreading, but is cultivating Krishna consciousness for his personal benefit in a secluded place, sitting and chanting, he's called a bhajanandi.
Този, който не разпространява, култивира Кришна съзнание за личното си благо на отделено място, стои и възпява, той е наречен баджанананди.
That is also nice, but he's not acharya.
Това е също хубаво, но то не е ачаря.
Acharya means he must spread.
Ачаря означава трябва да разпространява.
Goshtyanandi. There are bhajanandis and goshtyanandis.
Има баджанананди и гощянанди.
So generally, Goshtyanandi means one who wants to increase the number of devotees. He's called a Goshtyanandi.
Гощянанди е този, който желае да увеличи броя на преданите.
And one who is self-satisfied, that let me do my own duty, he's called a Bhajananandi.
И този, който е себе удовлетворен, който казва, нека да следва моя дълг, той е наречен баджанананди.
So my Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was a Goshtyanandi.
Мой гуру Махарадж, Бхактисиддханта Сарасвати Тхакур, беше Гощянанди.
He wanted to increase the number of devotees.
Желаеше да увеличи броя на преданите.
And the more you increase the number of devotees, the more you become very much recognized by Krishna.
Колкото правите това, повече правите това, увеличавате броя на преданите, толкова повече Кришна ви признава.
It is Krishna's business.
Това е работата на Кришна.
Krishna personally comes as he is, Krishna, to spread this bhakti cult.
Той лично идва като Кришна, за да разпространи това бхакти движение.
Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. From Bhagavad Gita, 1865. Think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your obeisances unto me.
Винаги мисли за мен, стани моят предан, давай ми почита си, казва Бхагavad Gita 1860.
And 1866, Sarva Dharman Parityajanamikam Sharanam Raja. Give up all so-called dharmas and surrender unto me. He is canvassing personally.
Той лично ни моли, изоставете всички дharми, религии и не се отдайте изцяло.
Paritranaya sarunam vinashaya chadushkitam. He comes to deliver the devotees and destroy the demons.
Той лично идва, за да спаси преданите, унищожи личните.
Dharma samstama pantatarya sambhavami yuge yuge. To re-establish the principles of Dharma, I come millennium after millennium.
За да установя принципите на дхарма, аз се появявам епоха след епоха.
So the same thing is entrusted to a devotee, and he who spreads Dharma, he is Acharya.
Същото нещо е дадено и като дълг за предания, който го разпространява, той е Ачаря.
So Krishna says, the Acharya is none different from me.
И Кришна казва Ачаря, не се различава от мен.
Here it is said that Advaitam Harina Advaitat. Advaita is none different from Hari.
Тук се казва също, че Адвейта не се различава от Хари.
So of course, Advaita Acharya is an expansion of Vishnu Tattva, but any Acharya is to be considered identical with the Lord.
Разбира се, Адвайта Ачаря е разширение на Вишну Татва, но всеки Ачаря трябва да бъде считан за равен на Бога.
The Lord says, Acharya mam vijaniyat. One should understand the Acharya as myself.
Богът казва в Бхагаватам, човек трябва да разбира Ачаря като мен самия.
Acharya Bhakti Shanksanat. Acharya means one who is spreading the pure Bhakti cult.
Ачаря значи този, който разпространява чистата любов Бхакти, чистия култ на Бхакти.
That Acharya, Krishna says, you should consider as myself.
Този Ачаря, казва Кришна, трябва да считате като мен самия.
Acharya mam vijaniyat nava amanyeta karichit. One should not think, yes, he's Acharya, but not as good as Krishna. No.
Човек не трябва да мисли, да, той е Ачаря, но не е толкова добър като Кришна. Не.
Na avamanyeta. Don't deride the Acharya in that way.
Не усмивайте Ачаря по този начин.
Then there will be fall down.
Иначе ще падне.
Acharya mam vijaniyat navamanyeta karichit. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way.
Човек трябва да знае, че Ачаря като мен и трябва да го пренебрегва по никакъв начин.
In the Vedas it is also said, Yasya deve parabhakti yata deve tata gurau. Anyone who has got unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality and the similar faith in Guru, tasyaite katita yarta, all the Vedic literature, prakashante, becomes revealed simply by these two principles.
В Ведите също се казва, всеки, който има напълна вяра в върховната личност и подобна вяра в Гуру, всички ведически произведения казват Пракашанте. Той, на него му е разкрит цялата ведическа литература, цялото ведическо знание му се разкрива чрез тези два принципа.
Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, 1951. By the grace of Guru and Krishna, we receive the seed of devotional service.
Читание Чаритамрita се казва, че по милостта на Кришна, на Гуру, ние получаваме семето, милостта на Гуру и Кришна получаваме семето на Бхакти Лата и на растението на Бхакти.
We should not try to jump directly to Krishna without the help of Guru.
Опитаме да прескочим и да се обърнем директно към Кришна без помощта на Гуру.
That is not possible.
Това не е възможно.
You must go through the Guru.
Трябва да преминете чрез посредничеството на Гуру.
Because Krishna says, Acharya mam vijaniyat. The Acharya is myself.
Защото Кришна казва, Ачаря е моето себе.
Asmad gurun prapadyeta jigyasu shreya uttamam. Actually, one who is serious to understand higher transcendental subject matters, he must approach a guru.
Всъщност, който е сериозен да осъзнае трансценденталната реалност, трябва да се обърне към Гуру.
Tasmad gurum prapadyeta. These are Vedic injunctions.
Това са ведическите предписания.
Chakudana diloje janme janme prabhu say. Guru means who opens the eyes of the ignorant person.
Гуру означава този, който отваря очите на невежите личности.
Agyana timidandasya gyananjana shalakaya. Opening the eyes by giving real knowledge.
Отваря очите, като дава истинско знание.
Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So Bhakti Lata, the seed of devotional service, can be received by the Parampara system through a bona fide spiritual master.
Бхакти Лата, преданното служение, семето на преданното служение може да бъде получено чрез системата Парампара, чрез авторитетен духовен учител.
And if we abide by the orders of the spiritual master faithfully, then Krishna becomes pleased.
Ако с вяра следваме наставленията на духовният учител, Кришна е удовлетворен.
That is stated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado.
Вишванат Чакраварти Тхакур обяснява това.
Acharyavan Purusho Veda, one who has accepted an Acharya, he knows things as they are.
Този, който е приел Ачаря, разбира нещата такива, каквито са.
Others, they do not know. It's not possible.
Другите не могат да ги разберат. Не е възможно.
So Advaita Acharya is the typical example how to become Acharya.
Адвайта Ачаря е пример за това как да бъдеш Ачаря.
All our Acharyas, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi, Gauravani Vrinda, all of them are Acharyas because they are following the Acharya, the Supreme Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Всички те са Ачарии, защото следват върховният Ачаря, Чайтанья Махапрабху.
Therefore, they are Acharyas, so we have to follow the Acharyas.
Затова те се считани за Ачарии. Ние трябва да следваме Ачария.
Then, when you are completely 100% follower of the Acharya, then you can also act as Acharya.
Ако 100% следвате Ачария, вие също може да действате като Ачария.
That is the process.
Това е начинът.
Don't become an Acharya prematurely.
Не ставайте ненавременно Ачария.
First of all, follow the orders of the Acharya and become mature.
Първо станете зрели, като следвате наставленията на Ачария.
Then you can become Acharya.
Тогава може да станете Ачария.
We are interested in preparing acharyas.
Ние желаем да подготвим ачария.
But the etiquette is, at least for the period the guru is present, one should not become acharya.
Но според етикета, докато твоят собствен гуру присъства, човек не трябва да става ачария.
Even if one is complete, he should not act as acharya.
Дори ако е съвършен, човек не трябва да действа като ачария.
Because the etiquette is, if somebody wants to become initiated, it is our duty to bring that candidate to our spiritual master.
Защото това е етикета. Ако някой желая да бъде посветен, дълг е на тази личност да предложи този кандидат на неговия ачария.
One should not think, now people are coming to me, so I can become acharya.
Ученика не трябва да си мисли, сега хората идват при мен и аз трябва да им бъда ачария.
That is avamanya, na avamanyeta karyachit. Don't transgress the etiquette.
Не нарушавайте този етикет.
Na avamanyeta, that will be the cause of fall down.
Това ще е причина за попадане.
So this, of course, is not accidentally that Prophet said this.
А не е случайно, че го казва.
There were some people, disciples, sannyasis. Well, some or other, maybe innocently, he said one of them in India, he went to a village and he gave japa beads to the people there for chanting.
Може би невидно един от тях отиде в едно село в Индия и раздаде бойници за мутуване.
The Prabhupada said, if you do that, then that means they're initiated by you.
И Прабхупада казва, когато направиш, това означава, че ти бяха посвещени.
Not necessarily you have to have always a fire sacrifice. That's external. Anyway, so he commented because there were some things going on. For example, during the lifetime of our Guru Maharaj, all our God brothers who are now acting as Acharya, they did not do so.
Например, докато моят Гуру Махарадж беше жив, никой от неговите ученици не действаше като ачаря, а сега го правят.
That is not etiquette.
Това не е етикет.
Acharya mam vijaniyat na avamanyeta. That would be an insult.
Това ще бъде оскорбително.
So if you insult your acharya, then you are finished.
Ако ви оскорбите вашия ачаря, с вас е свършено.
Now, it also could happen that the acharya tells somebody to initiate in his presence. That's another thing.
Разбира се, има случаи, в които ачаря може да каже на своя ученик да дава посвещение в негово присъствие. Това е нещо друго.
We have also examples of that.
Ние примери за това.
Anyway, so yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadat nagati kotopi. Finished. If you displease your acharya, then you are finished. So, therefore, all the acharyas, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, Srivasadi, Gauravani, they are all carriers of the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Всички ачарии, Нитянанда Прабhu, Адвайта Прабhu, всички те следват заповедите на Шри Чайтanya Mahaprabhu.
So try to follow the acharyas. Then life will be successful. And to become acharya is not very difficult. First of all, become a faithful servant of your acharya, follow strictly what he says, try to please him and spread Krishna consciousness. That's all. Верни слуги на вашия ачаря, да следвате стриктно каквото казва, да се опитате да го удовлетворите и да разпространявате Кришна съзнание. Това е всичко. It's not at all difficult.
Изобщо не е трудно.
Try to follow the instruction of your Guru Maharaj and spread Krishna consciousness.
Опитвайте се да следвате наставленията на вашия Гуру Махарадж и да разпространявате съзнанието за Кришна.
That is the order of Lord Chaitanya.
Това е желанието на Лорд Чайтanya.
Amara agyaya guru hoya tara edesh jare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. By following my order, you become guru. And if we strictly follow the acharya system and try our best to spread the instruction of Krishna, then we become acharya. So, Prabhupada says this not just here, it says many times in his classes, many times.
Și Prabhupada nu o казва веднъж тук, много пъти в своите лекции.
But we like to have things complicated.
Но ние искаме да усложним всичко.
Yare Ekatare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. There are two kinds of Krishna Upadesh.
Има два вида Кришна Упадеш.
Upadesh means instruction.
Деше е наставление.
There are instructions given by Krishna.
Има наставления дадени от Кришна.
Like Bhagavad Gita, that is Krishna Upadesh.
Това е Кришна Упадеш.
And there are instructions received about Krishna. That is also Krishna Upadesh.
И наставления свързани с Кришна, и те са също Кришна Упадеш.
So Krishna's Upadesh is Bhagavad Gita. He is directly giving instruction. And if you spread Krishna Upadesh by simply repeating what Krishna says, then you become Acharya.
И когато следваме наставлението на Кришна, Кришна Упадеш в Бхагавад Гита, ние ставаме Ачаря.
It is not difficult at all.
Това изобщо не е трудно.
So we want to spread Krishna consciousness.
Ние искаме да разпространяваме Кришна съзнание.
Simply prepare yourself how to repeat Krishna's instructions very nicely without any malinterpretation.
Просто се подгответе как да предавате тези наставления на Кришна без да изкривявате.
Now we are speaking to you.
Сега ние говорим на вас.
Then in the future, suppose now you have got 10,000 acharyas.
И след това в бъдеще, нека да речем, ще имаме
We shall extend to 100,000.
трябва да имаме 100,000 ачаря.
That is required.
Това е нужно.
Then from 100,000 to a million.
И от 100,000 до милион.
And from a million to 10 million.
И от милион до 10 милиона.
So not just some selected group.
Не избраници.
Anyway.
Някаква група от избрани.
Devotees, Jai! Of course, you know. Oh yeah, right. Then Prabhupada. So there will be no scarcity of acharya, and people will understand Krishna consciousness very easily.
Така няма да има недостиг на ачари и хората ще разберат Кришна съзнание много лесно.
Then he tells us, make that organization.
И Прабхупад казва, направете тази организация.
So make that organization.
Направете тази организация.
Don't be falsely puffed up.
Не бъдете измамно горделиви.
Follow the acharya's instructions and try to make yourself perfect, become mature.
Следвайте наставленията на ачария, станете съвършени, зрели.
Then it will be very easy to fight against Maya.
И ще е много лесно да се борите срещу Мая.
Yes, the acharyas declare war against Maya's activities.
Ачариите заявяват война срещу дейностите на Мая.
Maya is instructing.
Мая ни казва.
Here is wine.
Ето тук е виното.
Here is cigarette.
И цигарите.
And this and
И това,
that.
и друго.
So many things.
Толкова неща.
In your country, he talks about America mainly.
Във вашата държава говори за Америка.
He has seen in Los Angeles these huge signboards, you know, cool, you know. He said, how is it cool if you smoke?
Прабхупад казва, как може да е cool на английски, да пушиш, но е.
So there's advertisements are very prominent, you know, these huge signs.
Прабхупад казва, вашата страна има толкова много реклами.
Wine advertisement, cigarette advertisement,
На вино, на цигари,
naked woman advertisement, and sometimes gambling advertisement like bingo. You know bingo? You've ever heard about bingo? It's universal. In Spain, it's very prominent. It's probably a Spanish word, you know. Bingo. You know. Great. I won. So this is Maya. And our declaration of war to Maya is no intoxication, no meeting, no bingo, no bingo. So these are our declaration of war. So we have to fight in that way because nobody can understand Krishna without being free from all sinful activities.
Трябва да се борим така, защото никой не може да разбере Кришна без да се освободи от греховни дейности.
Therefore, it is Acharya's business to stop these nonsense activities.
Затова работата на ачарите да спрат тези безумни дейности.
Otherwise, people will not be able to understand,
Иначе хората няма да могат да разберат,
especially the meat eaters.
особено месоядци.
They cannot understand.
Няма да могат да разберат.
And now he quotes from the 10th canto, first chapter, a known verse, which finishes with Pashugnat, somebody who kills animals or the soul.
И той цитира известен текст от 10-та песен, който завършва с думата Пашугнат, убиецът на душата или на животни.
Unless, now this is a double negation, unless one is very expert in killing animals, he's not bereft from Krishna consciousness. So if you are expert at killing, then you're bereft.
Човек няма да бъде лишен от Кришна съзнание, освен ако не е опитен в убиването на животни.
Yes. That means one who is very expert in killing, he cannot understand.
Тоест, тези, които убиват, те не могат да разберат.
Therefore Christ also said, thou shalt not kill, the first business.
Затова Исус Христос също казва, не убивай, това е първото нещо.
Nobody will be able, if one is a killer of animals, small or big,
Никой няма да е способен, ако бъде убиец на животни, малки или големи.
or ultimately killer of his own children, killer of his own self.
Или в крайна сметка убиец на своите собствени деца или убиец на себе си.
The killing process is so nice, people think, that it goes up to the point of killing one's children.
Хората мислят толкова тази работа на убиването, че дори достига до нивото да убият собствените си деца.
That is now happening.
Сега се случва и това.
Killing business has so expanded that they are killing their own children.
До такава степен се е разширило тази работа на убийствата, че те убият собствените си деца.
Just see the influence of Kali Yuga.
Вижте влиянието на Кали Юга.
So don't repeat your birth again and again in this Kali Yuga.
Не се раждайте отново и отново в тази Кали Юга.
It will not be a very happy life.
Това няма да е щастлив живот.
Better sacrifice everything in this life and be fully Krishna conscious and go back home, back to Godhead.
По-добре жертвайте всичко в този живот, отдайте се и се върнете при Бога.
Don't wait for the next life.
Не чакайте следващия живот.
This is very seriously repeated that this life I shall finish my Krishna consciousness business, and as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna consciousness business means to understand Krishna correctly.
Това много сериозно се повтаря. В този живот аз трябва да приключа с Кришна съзнание, да го завърша. И това се казва и в Бхагавад Гита, че Кришна съзнание означава да разберем правилно Кришна.
And Krishna is explaining himself correctly.
И той обяснява себе си.
Where is the difficulty to finish this Krishna consciousness business?
Къде е трудността да завършим тази работа, тази задача на Кришна съзнание?
If Krishna is explaining himself what he is, then where is the difficulty?
Ако Кришна само обяснява себе си, какъв е той, къде е проблем?
Krishna is explaining himself in the Bhagavad Gita.
Той обяснява себе си в Бхагавад Гита.
Krishna is sending his representative, the Acharya, to teach you.
Изпраща своите представители, ачарите, за да ви учат.
And Krishna is within yourself trying to teach you if you are actually serious.
И той се намира вътре вас в сърцето ви и ви получава, ако наистина сте сериозни.
Then where is the difficulty?
Тогава, къде е трудността?
Inside, outside, books, knowledge. So where is the difficulty to make yourself perfect in Krishna consciousness?
Отвътре, отвън, винаги книги, знания. Къде е трудността да станете съвършени?
There is no difficulty at all.
Изобщо няма трудности.
Provided you are serious, you can become fully Krishna conscious in this very life.
Ако сте сериозни, може да станете изцяло Кришна осъзнати в този живот.
So, all the best to you. Any comments or questions? Yeah.
I have a question regarding the song. Was described that Advaita Acarya he frees us from the bad association and from the materialistic activities, something else.
Mm-hmm.
How can you understand this?
Well, it of course depends whether you are taking shelter.
Разбира се, зависи къде приемате послон.
Well,
Ще преведеш ли?
Въпросът ми е свързан с песента. Там се казваше, че Адвайта Ачаря той ме освобождава от лошото общуване, от материалните дейности и от още нещо. Как да го разберем това на практика в нашия живот?
Like Krishna says, Mam ekam sharanam praja, right? You surrender to me exclusively.
Кришна казва, отай ми се изцяло.
Then what happens? Moksha Yishyami, I will liberate you from all sinful reactions.
Аз ще те освободя от всички греховни последици.
It all depends, like it was said here, where is the difficulty? If one is seriously following the footsteps of the acharyas, then you become also acharya. People think this is something extraordinary. It's not really, shouldn't be so extraordinary.
Какъв е проблема, ако следвате искрено и сериозно наставлението на ачария, ставате ачария. Хората си мислят, че да се ачария е нещо необикновено, но не трябва да е нищо необикновено.
So, exclusive shelter, yeah, that's not such an easy thing. We can say that, but then in practice, what does it mean?
Но да се уредени с цяло това не е толкова лесно практически. Трябва да знаем какво означава това.
Because it entails, for example, the 6 processes of surrender.
Защото това включва определени методи на отдаване.
We all know what these are, right?
Нали знаем кои са тези 6 основни.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself explained it.
Самият Чайтания Махапрабху го обяснява.
Anakulena sankalpa и pratikulena varjanam. That's the first, just these two already. If we do that, then your question is answered.
Ако дори следваме само тези две, първите въпросът е...
Anakulena sankalpa, we accept everything that is favorable.
Anakulena sankalpa означава, че приемаме всичко, което е благоприятно.
And pratikulya, what is not favorable, then varjanam. You reject that.
И отхвърляме всичко, което е неблагоприятно.
So, that association, whatever was on the list, that's all unfavorable, and when you exclusively surrender, that entails that. I mean, on one side, you have to do the first step and have the desire, and then the Lord who's in the heart and the devoted, everybody, he will give the strength to do it.
Ние трябва да направим първата стъпка, ние трябва да го пожелаем, да искаме да следваме това и Богът вътре в сърцето ще ни даде силата.
And you accept Krishna as your maintainer, you rely, you're confident in his protection, Rakshishyatiti.
Krishna за наш поддръжник и разчитаме.
Vishvasa means a strong, conviction that he will protect me.
Вие сте силно убедени, че той ще ни закриля.
And then you give everything. Atmani Vedana, and then you become humble. Then you are humble. If you do all that, then definitely you are humble, and then you're in a very safe position. So yeah, as long as we are not taking the determination to do these things, then there will be bad association. And what else was on the list? Huh? Yeah, fruitive activities, obviously. Normal. What you have to do something. No devotional activity. You have to have fruitive activity. Unless you try to be nothing, nothingness is the gate to truth, as we heard from Osho. And nothingness is the means, the goal, and the attainment. So if you're so stupid, then what to do? What is nothingness? But generally, no, we want something, so we want fruitive activity. I mean, even this guy, I mean, just see as Prabhupada says, see the fun. You know? he says that sometimes, see the farce of it. You know his motto? He wants to become, or he tells everybody to become like Zorba the Buddha.
Той казва, казва на последователи, станете Зорба Будата.
I mean, probably you don't know what is Zorba, right?
Може би не знаете.
Anybody knows by chance? You saw the film?
The book.
It was a film, Zorba the Greek.
Зорба Будата.
Anthony Quinn, I mean, very famous actor. You probably have seen it. You have seen it. So what does this guy do? I mean, what's the essence? He's dancing.
Той танцува.
You have these Osho people see, Rajneesh people see when they go like this and dance. This comes from there.
Това идва оттам.
And this guy said, that was like the philosophy at the end, you have to become a madman, dancing like this,
Трябва да има идея, тъй като
to cut the rope to freedom.
трябва да танцувате лудо, за да превеждате мъжете на свободата.
So if this is, people think like that, then
Хората мислят така.
no, generally this is all craziness, so we want fruitive activities, we want to enjoy.
Ние обаче не искаме да ставаме така.
But as I said, although he says nothing is the gate to truth, actually dancing and, having sex without any limitation, that's the real thing.
Макар че той казва, нищото е вратата към всичко, той се занимава с такива малудничи дейности.
Like these some Mayavadi said. Everybody wants to taste something sweet. I mean, that's normal.
Нещо сладко.
Not nirguna, saguna.
Не ниргуна, без качества.
Full of variety and qualities.
Разнообразие с качества, слабост.
And you have the choice between material and spiritual.
И имате, разбира се, избор. Дали това е го търсите в материалното или в духовното.
And we know the material saguna. We like it. So many things we like, right? A long list. And Zorba also he likes, especially dancing and drinking and, not dancing alone. Sometimes dancing alone, but generally you dance with somebody else. So you can do that, or you can dance in kirtan and sing Krishna's glories. So, but that's the way, to get free from fruitive activity, then you have to have spiritual activity. Instead of bad association, have good association. Sadhu. It's not, everything you can look at what is like bad, what we say, which binds you to the material world. There's the equivalent spiritual activity which will free you.
Всъщност това, което е лошо, е нещо, което ни обвързва към материалния свят, но то има съответната си изначална форма в духовните дейности.
Like we know, yes, attachment is very bad. Right?
Привързаността не е
Become detached.
затова трябва да станем привързани.
So how you become detached?
Как ставаш непривързан?
Maya sakta, Krishna says. Your mind become attached to me. The same word, asakti. It's not ashakti. It's not a shakti. It's sakti and asakti. So it means attachment. So that has to be Krishna and his devotees. You can be without attachment. Nothingness is not the gate to truth. Because there's nothing like nothingness. Is that now truth? I mean, a double negation, I mean, what is nothing? It doesn't exist. Show me something that is nothing. There's always something. Even Brahma, at least Brahman, there's something, no? It's all the same, but at least it's one. It's not zero. But that's the Maya, the Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. So, but Advaita Acarya is not the Acharya of Advaita. His oneness he's non-different from Krishna. That's the term is explained as we heard. And one-pointed preaching of devotional service. So, all the devotees, now we are 1 month away, a little more than Gopurnima. So Advaita Acarya appears and Nityananda will appear in 1 week. And then at the end, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and the Sankirtan movement begins.
започва Санкиртан, движението. Първо се хвърля Адвайта Ачаря, после Нитянанд, след това Чайтанья Махапрабху.
And we are all invited to participate.
И всички вие сте поканени да участвате.
Especially following the footsteps of Advaita Acarya, becoming Acharyas.
Особено следваме стъпките на Адвайта Ачаря, като станем самите ачари.
We have a founder Acharya. You cannot become. You can if you want to, found another movement that has been done. People have done this, and they call themselves Acharya of this and that. You can do that also. But we have a founder Acharya of ISKCON. That is Srila Prabhupada.
Не може да станем основатели ачари. Вече си имаме основатели. Разбира се, искате да основате някаква друга организация, но нашата организация си има основател. Това ще е Прабхупада.
So we don't want to become a founder Acharya, but we can, or we should, as we heard, become Acharya following the founder Acharya.
Не искаме да сме основатели, но трябва да бъдем, да искаме да бъдем, както чухме, последователи на основателя Ачаря.
And that term is perfectly applicable. It's not like, oh, it's only meant for one or two persons and everybody else is just a guru. As if there were a difference,
Това сякаш има някаква разлика. Един-двама подбрани, те могат да са ачари, другите не са.
Like in this lecture, how many times Prabhupada uses the word Acharya and how many times he actually used the word Guru?
Колко пъти Шрила Прабхупада използва в тази лекция думата Гуру и колко пъти Ачаря?
Well, we know, it's 90% Acharya, and it means the same. He said in the beginning, Acharya means teacher, that's all.
И това е същото като Гуру. Това означава, че Ачаря значи учител.
So, all of you have to become Acharyas. That's the family business.
Това е нашия семейен бизнес.
Can't avoid it.
Не може да го избегне.
Well, you can if you become a Bhajananandi. Then he said, that is not Acharya.
И ако, разбира се, може, ако станете Bhajananandi, но това е, тези вече не са Ачаря.
But in our Guru Parampara, we don't really have Bhajananandis.
Но в нашата ученическа приемственост нямаме всъщност Bhajananandi.
So, we follow in the footsteps.
Следваме стъпките на нашите Ачаря.
So, anything else?
I have one question.
Yes, please.
Some people said that Hare Krishna consciousness is religion, and others said that it's not.
Good.
Hare Krishna conscious religion.
Okay.
Дали Кришна съзнание е религия или не?
So, depends how we define religion.
Първо трябва да дефинираме какво е религията.
The problem is the English translation.
Проблема е в превода на думата от английски.
The Sanskrit word is dharma.
Санскритската дума е дхарма.
And yes, you can also, why Krishna says sarva dharman parityaja?
Защо Кришна казва сарва дharma parityaja, заставете.
If you don't know anything and you hear that, only that, and you think, what? Give up all dharma? What kind of instruction is that?
Ако не знаем какво означава и като чуем да изоставим дharma, каква е тази инструкция?
And mam ekam sharanam vraja, just surrender unto me. Who is he to say that? Right? So, Dharman tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. That's the verdict that dharma, you can translate it as religious principle, for example.
Единен превод на дharma е религиозен принцип.
It also is translated as occupational duty.
Също се превежда като задължение, предписан дълг.
And religion.
Религия също.
But the point is that our English, or in other languages the same, the words generally, how you say, they transmit a different meaning of what Dharma actually is.
Този превод на английски и други езици дава друго значение, много по-различно, отколкото с санскритската дума.
Like the word religion, Srila Prabhupada says, religion generally is understood as a kind of faith.
Като Прабхупад казва, обикновено под религия разбираме някакъв вид вяра.
People see themselves as either Christians or Muslims or Jews or Hindus or something like that.
Хората считат себе си за християни, индуси, мусулмани или нещо.
And that can be changed.
И това ти може да си го промениш.
You may be born in a Christian family and you become a Muslim, go to jihad.
И и да станеш мусулманин в факт.
Or you were a Jew and you become a Hindu, or vice versa. Many Hindus become Christians.
Или да се роден като евреин, да станеш християнин, или пък обратното, много индуси стават християни.
So that's not meant by Dharma.
Но това всъщност не е Дharma.
Therefore, Dharma also is described as an intrinsic quality.
Затова и друго значение на Dharma е присъщо качество.
A quality that comes with something and it cannot be changed.
Качество, което е присъщо на обекта и то не може да бъде променено.
Like, and Prabhupada gives the example, the Dharma of fire is heat and light.
Както Прабхупад казва, пример с огъня е Dharma на огънят е светлината и топлината.
And the Dharma of sugar is to be sweet.
Dharma на захарта е сладостта.
If you have salty sugar, it's not sugar.
Ако е солена захарта, това не е захар.
So you can look at different things and they have their dharma, their intrinsic quality.
Така че всеки един обект, всяко нещо си има своята Dharma или присъщо качество.
So the jiva, the soul,
Душата,
the living entity, also has an intrinsic quality, a dharma.
същество също има своя Dharma, своя присъщо качество.
And that is to be a servant.
И това е да е слуга, да служи.
Now you can choose where to serve and who to serve, that may be.
Ние имаме възможност да изберем къде да служим, на кого да служим.
But serving, you must.
И трябва да служим.
Even those who think they are masters,
Дори и те, които се считат за господари.
they're serving somebody.
Те служат на някой.
Maybe just a dog.
Може и да куча дори.
You are the president of whatever country and you have a dog.
Ти си президент на някаква държава и си имаш кучка.
Then, you go out with the dog, then you go where the dog wants to go, right? And you wait patiently that he will raise his leg finally and do his thing and then go on, and then finally it's time, then you may, and the dog goes, and because you're a faithful servant, okay. Maybe take out your smartphone. Therefore, they are very practical. You have your dog. But so you're a servant, and it's maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. You wanted to sleep. It's Sunday morning, 5 o'clock, but the dog goes. Shut up! Okay, you get up, get him out. Or you serve your senses. Oh, you see something? Oh, let's go. So you can imagine so many things where it's very clear how we are serving. Generally, we just serve our family. That's the general way everywhere. The husband very faithfully. Very rare nowadays, but there are still some who will work and maintain and the wife and the children and take care of them. And sometimes there's a wife who is also obedient. It's rare, but it can be, it can happen. So like that. And even if you're the president, you say, I'm the servant of the country. Okay, you're very proud of that. Public servant, right? So, anyway, the analysis is very clear. We are by nature servants, but we can choose where and who to serve. Now, the jiva's dharma as servant is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the Svarupa, the original form, is to be a servant of Krishna. Eternal servant. And as we read today, even the Vishnu Tattva expansions of Krishna, like Advaita Acarya, Nityananda, they consider themselves the servants of the Mahaprabhu.
Формите на Бога, неговите директни експанзии, които са разширени от неговата личност, те се считат за слуги на Върховния Господар.
They are Prabhus.
Те са също Прабhu.
Prabhu is not an ordinary term. Something like, oh, Prabhu. No, Nityananda Prabhu. And Advaita Prabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the Prabhus are considering themselves the servants of the Mahaprabhu. And again, as we said, in the material world, this is undesirable. Nobody wants to be a servant of anybody. But as Advaita Acarya points out, actually there's so much joy in being the servant of the Supreme that it cannot compare to anything. Even this impersonal bliss that some people strive for, it's even if you multiply 10 millions or millions of times, it's not even a drop of the joy experienced in devotional service.
Това щастие от безличностното осъзнаване на абсолюта не може да бъде сравнено милион пъти с капчицата от щастието на служение.
And therefore Krishna says, Sukham kartum avyayam, actually joyfully performed.
И това Кришна казва, тази дейност е свършена с огромна радост.
Now, of course, somebody will argue, okay, I'm a devotee, I'm chanting, but I'm not very joyful at all. This is all lie, a lie. I'm miserable. So then what does that mean? Well, that's a very strong and true statement. Yes. Prabhupada said, the devotee cannot be morose. Then he's not a devotee. So a depressed devotee is simply covered by the external energy. Krishna, as he says in Bhagavad Gita, Sagunan Samatidhyaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, if one goes beyond the material nature, then you come to the Brahman platform, the spiritual platform, not the impersonal Brahman. And then what is that? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Prasanna means full of joy. If one comes to that platform, it's like you get out into the sun, everything is clear. It's not like, there cannot be darkness. It's impossible. And nashochati, there's no lamentation. Nakangshati. No. I want this. So then, no. And then actually, Mat Bhakti Parame, what is it? Navate Param. Then devotional service begins. Well, we never say that. So we don't become discouraged. Anyway, so, yes, you understood what is the difference? When we say it's a religion, then in the sense it's dharma. And we say it's no religion, it's not in the sense of this temporary faith. Oh no, one more thing about dharma. There can be naimitika dharma, which means a temporary dharma that comes with the body. We said occupational duty. So a kshatriya dharma, you have to fight. So after explaining all that in Bhagavad Gita, therefore Krishna says sarva dharman parityaja. He doesn't mean the eternal dharma, he means this temporary dharma. That you give up and you come to the eternal dharma of being a devotee.
когато се казва, че всички може да станем ачари, буквално ли го разбираме?
When it is said that we should become all acharyas, should we understand it literally?
Защото
Because
If it's not literally, how do you understand it?
Адвайта Ачаря, нали, той е въплъщение, аватар. Ако ние станем, нали, няма да станем аватари. Има като различни видове ачари.
his expansion, we cannot become an avatar. There are different types of acharyas.
Yeah, Advaita Acharya, the Acharya is with my big letter.
С голямо.
Значи има различни видове.
So there are different acharyas.
But yes, I mean, like I said, you cannot become the founder Acharya,
И не може да станем специалните основател
but
ачари.
you can become an Acharya.
Но може да станем, трябва да станем ачари.
So,
Ако не го разбираме буквално, как да го разбираме?
like we may not be able to be like the sun,
Може да не сме като слънце,
but you can become a candle.
може да бъдем свежи.
If it's, I mean, you may become a floodlight. I mean, possible,
Still it gives light.
or a little lid.
Мъничко.
Better than nothing, no? If it's very dark, you're happy if you have a candle. Eh?
Когато много тъмно, се радвате дори да е малко същичко.
Yes, that is true. You know, the capacity of Acharya, you could have, if you want to have it in a visual form, you know, like 8-point type, and then 10-point type, and 14, and 20, and then, you know, you can get the big signboard, you know, Acharya. So they're all Acharya, but some like a candle, some like a floodlight, some like this.
Всички са ачари.
But light is there.
Но важното е ачаря, значи дава светлина. Някои са като слънцето, други са като малко.
Yes, and the quality of light in itself is the same. Maybe the power is different.
Качеството на светлината е същото, но интензитета.
Yes. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Amara Agya Guru Haya, you know, you become Guru, that may mean in your village, and you have maybe a handful of people who you instruct.
Когато Чайтаня Махапрабху дава това наставление, Амарагия и Гуру, стани по моята воля, Гуру, учител, това може да означава в твоят квартал, в твоето село, да имаш няколко човека, на които да даваш това знание.
Somebody else may be doing that work in the whole country.
Някой може да го прави за цяла страна.
And somebody doing all over the world, Jagat Guru. Yeah?
Гуру на света.
So, but the quality is the same.
Но качеството е също.
One drop or 1 liter
Една капчица,
or
един
the
литър
whole sea.
или цялото море.
The quality is the same.
Качеството е също.
So no, there's no escape.
Няма как да се измъкнеш.
Nice try. Then you have to become a Bhajananandi, then you're excluded. You know?
Но единственото изключение, ако станеш баджана,
But then you're not really part of the family business.
тогава вече не си част от семейния бизнес.
And there's little profit.
Малка полза от този бизнес.
Yeah, in the family business, you get a share of the profit.
Бизнес получаваш и дялове.
Become a shareholder.
Ставате част от собствениците.
And it's always, the value is always increasing.
Стойността на дяловете винаги нараства.
Good news. It's not, the share that doesn't really go
Никога не
down.
пада тази.
All right. So anything else we have? No, huh? Yes, please.
В лекцията, която Махарадж чети от Шрила Прабхупада, Прабхупада каза, че не трябва да стремим да спрем да се прераждаме в Кали-юга отново и отново. А пък, нали, има много паралелни светове като наши, или аз нещо не съм разбрал както трябва. Може
Complicated.
Махарадж да обясни.
I see your face.
In the lecture it was said you shouldn't become born again in Kali Yuga. Again. They are parallel universes, so maybe you can explain if maybe
You want to go to another one? Find out. Krishna will fulfill your desire. No problem. There's millions. Not just parallel. They're not really parallel. No, that's another. imagination. The parallel universe. And then they think they are in different simultaneously, something like that. Some crazy idea. No, what we hear, that unlimited universes come from Mahavishnu. That's yes. But you are just one jiva. So, where to go? So much choice. So, don't worry. Krishna knows your heart. You can go on and on and on from one universe to the other eternally if you want to. There's no scarcity of universes. No scarcity of life forms. You can go from up to down and to the middle, to the left, to the right, and everywhere. You can fly in the air, you can swim in the water, you can climb a tree, you can even merge outside the universe into Brahman. But it's all temporary. Then you come back again, and then you have to choose the universe again. Anyway, so what's the no, not in this universe, and in no other universe. The material world. All the universes together are considered the material world. Not just this is the material world. Our world is not the material world. This is an insignificant speck. So the whole universe is material world, and all the other universes also. Confirmed. Yes. I know it's late. Give you some time. No? It's clear? Now with another objection.
I have a question regarding the quality. You told that the candle and the sun, they have...
Not the quality, the capacity.
It's different capacities, the same quality.
Yes.
And I heard yesterday class Prabhupada saying that devotee is those who can see Krishna everywhere. And he told that all feel Krishna, always.
Or you?
Feel.
Yes, feel the presence,
and
sure.
He's saying if he's not able to see or feel Krishna, he's a demon.
Yes.
How can we understand this? And we need to make friendship with the devotees and avoid the demons? How can we...
So are you thinking that nobody is seeing Krishna, nobody is feeling Krishna?
I don't know, I'm just...
so better know, eh? No, but we have to expand our vision a little bit. That was translated, his question was not translated.
Въпросът беше, Прабхупад казал в една лекция, че трябва винаги да виждаме и чувстваме Кришна постоянно, който не усеща присъствието на Бога и демон, обаче трябва да страним от демоните си. Също в Шастра означава това.
So, seeing Krishna.
Видим Кришна.
Now you have to go. That's what to do. So, seeing Krishna does not mean only like I see you in front of me face to face. So when Chaitanya Charitamrita says that, what is it, Stavara Jangama Murti? Spurti? Yes. So the Mahabharata, the pure devotee, can see, when he doesn't see the the immobile or mobile forms of the living entities, but he sees the Lord there.
Махабхагавата се решил предан, той не вижда съществата като подвижни, той вижда Бога навсякъде.
Actually, let's go one step back. There's different ways of seeing Krishna.
Една стъпка назад. Има различни начини да възприемаме Кришна.
Like the very... You're still there, huh? Yeah. If you want to be here, you have to shut up. So the very basic way of seeing Krishna is explained by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Rasoham apsu kante. You see me as soon as you taste something liquid, actually.
Виждаш ме всъщност, той казва, когато вкусиш някаква течност.
That's Prabhupada's expanded explanation of absolute count, the taste of water. Krishna says, I am.
Ще казвам, вкуса на водата, Прабхупад разширява значението на...
But again, it's like when we said dharma, sarva dharma, we have to understand things more than actually just the word.
Трябва да разберем нещата в перспектива на буквалното значение.
So rasoam apsu kaunteya, I'm the taste of water, Prabhupada says, it means anything liquid.
Прабхупад казва, вкуса на водата означава вкуса на всичко течно.
Not that only if you drink water you remember Krishna, and if you drink an orange juice you forget Krishna. No. Even if you drink wine, you can remember Krishna. You may be surprised. It doesn't mean that I'm telling you to drink wine. But when we were in Sweden, in a public program, there were two people in the back who apparently looked drunk. Well, they were drunk. Especially in Sweden, it's very prominent. Drinking, skål. So Prabhupada noticed and he said, so even if you think, when I taste wine, oh, this is Krishna, you can become the greatest yogi. That's the first, actually that is seeing Krishna. You see Krishna in that taste. You remember him. And then you have the sun. Krishna says it's my eye, and the moon, and all the different elements. They're my energy. So when you see the energy, you remember the source of the energy. Yeah. I've put on my table some rocks from here. Different colors, different forms. Now look at them. It's amazing how Krishna makes these things. It's a stupid way of doing it, but for somebody stupid, it's a stupid way. But it works. So, or you may have a picture of Krishna, or you may hear about Krishna, and like Prabhupada says, like, a father. Or mother, I'm sure when he sees that little shoe of Radhakanta, he remembers his son. Right? That's natural. So when you see something in connection, you make the connection with Krishna, you see Krishna. As I say, it doesn't mean you see him all the time dancing before you, playing the flute. That's also seeing Krishna, but it's Primandana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Santaksadaiva. Vidayeshu Vilokayanti. They see in the heart Krishna there. When the eyes are different from just material eyes. So when we say Shastra Shakshu, it means seeing through Shastra. It means to see. Yeah. Like Bhagavad Gita, we think, probably just the other, he said in the class again, people think, oh, Arjuna was very fortunate, he heard from Krishna directly Bhagavad Gita, but, what about us? So, yes, but we can hear Bhagavad Gita as it is, and as he said, there's no difference. You get the same benefit. So, you can see, if you remember Krishna by seeing, Krishna says, I am amongst the bodies of water, I am the ocean. Or even if you see a shark, you can remember Krishna. Because he says, So, that's the way to understand it. So, the devotee should be able to remember Krishna in that way and actually feel the presence, yes, of the Lord in his life. Well, when things happen, you can see Krishna's hand in everything.
когато нещо се случи, трябва да видим ръката на Кришна.
Even so-called misfortune.
Дори нещастие.
It could be an impetus to take more shelter of Krishna.
Стимул за още по-силно желание да намерим.
Therefore Krishna says, if I favor somebody, I'll take everything away.
Защо се прави така, както прочетахме, ако съм благосклонен към някого?
An ordinary person will lament.
Обикновеният човек ще скръби.
And if something like that happens to a devotee who's really a devotee, he will understand Krishna's telling me something.
Ако нещо такова се случи на истински предан, той ще се замисли и Кришна се опитва да ме научи.
Even if you have an accident, let's say, who knows, you be very badly injured. And so many. But, well, first thing, of course, one would think, what did I do? Something I've done to deserve it. And now I can't work like before. I have to sit in one place. Well, it's Krishna's mercy. And finally I can read Bhagavad Gita. I never had time, What to speak of Bhagavatam? It's all sitting there on the shelf since 20 years. I'm looking at it, and I think, when will I ever have time to read all that? And now I had this accident, I can't, the leg is in this, what's it called, this white stuff, So you can't walk anymore. But now you can sit down and maybe you end up in jail. And you say, wow, Krishna, thank you so much. I can sit here all day long and I can finally read Prabhupada's books, Depends how you look at it. But why Queen Kunti says, yes, actually we would like to have these calamities again and again, because if they come, then we see you.
Затова и царица Кунти се моли, всъщност искаме тези трудности да не се случват отново, защото тогава може да те виждаме.
Otherwise now, finally, the battle is over, we have won, Yudhishthira is on the throne, everything is okay, and you're going away, so we may forget you. His life is too good, then what do we need Krishna for? No, it's a fact. I mean, so seeing Krishna, feeling Krishna's presence should not be too difficult. You have to expand the scope. So then, you can associate even with ordinary devotees. There's no ordinary. Every devotee is special. They have given up, many things to serve the Lord. To their capacity. Capacity may be different, but that doesn't matter really so much. You remember that thing about the Ramachandra and Hanuman and the spider? It's a perfect example. So, the monkey, they can take big, and the spider can just, a little grain of sand. So the monkey may become proud that, it doesn't count what you're doing. You know how many millions of grains are in my rock? So I'm million times more powerful than you. And Ramachandra may look at the monkey and say, get lost. And he says to the spider, thank you so much for your service. Yeah, it's the quality, it's not the quantity. But if quality and quantity go together, good, very nice. But if we have to choose, we will choose quality. Right? I hope so. Yeah, I know it's a little late, but we don't eat, so it's no problem. It's a not rainy, but it's a gray day. All right, so now I think something will be... I hope there will be a feast, not just some nirguna stuff. One day doesn't matter, really. You will not die. Anyway, so we'll remember Advaita Acarya and try to read that long purport, maybe. It's only 10 pages. One of the longest in the book, but right. Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Advaita Acarya ki jai, Santara Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Sri Gaura Nitai Advaita Acarya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare